Hey everybody, Josh Lupresto, VP of Sales Engineering here for Telarus, part of Season 2, the Engineering Deep Dive. Today I'm here with Chris Ferski from Frontier. Chris, welcome, buddy.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So Chris, let's get a little bit of background on you. Kind of, what have you done previous to this, and how did you get into this space?
Yeah. Thanks for asking. My original background is actually in IT management. I spent about 18 years being on the customer side, managing technology for various industries in manufacturing, residential construction, and finance, and essentially, working as the as our customers would, to build networks, build applications, help the business really grow from there. And so I've had some great experiences along the way, and decided to trade in, that kind of a role, and made the progression over to solutions engineering, first with Nortel for a couple of years, and then moved over to Frontier. Been with Frontier for about 8 years now, and working in the solutions engineering space, being able to help customers like I used to be, and finding out, what they know, what they don't know, helping them work through their challenges, and being able to do all that without necessarily having to, be up at 3 o'clock in the morning answering, network outage calls. So that was kind of a nice a move for me to get into this space on the telecom side.
Cool, good stuff. So let's talk about here that this video is about the engineering dive, right? Really helping our partners who have worked with you, maybe some aren't familiar with you, and really where you fit in that space. And so let's start off with just why, right? Why does somebody pick Frontier to begin with?
Right. No, that's a key key question to ask, and I'm sure all our partners ask that. Why should I choose Frontier versus any of my other choices, right? And really, the biggest thing comes down to is, from our perspective, we're a very dedicated, responsive team. We're here for our channel, for our partners, to be able to help them solve their customers' problems, and essentially work through whatever challenges it might be, whether it be a small business, medium, or large. We have a wide production of products, and essentially, we want to assist them in succeeding and making their customers succeed. So it's all about being dedicated to our partners and helping them with whatever they might need to be able to work through and solve for their end customers.
So tell me, where do you fit? We're going to get into the solutions in a second and your differentiators, but where do you think Frontier best fits?
So, it's an interesting question because a lot of focus is obviously in the marketplace is with mid and large companies, but we've really got to fit with small, medium, and large. We've got a wide product portfolio, and the biggest thing to take into account these days is that a small business can even run enterprise level applications, and having worked for a lot of smaller to mid-sized businesses and then be part of larger businesses, I've seen that type of transformation where, all those different technologies can apply. So, we've really got a well-rounded set of products that can fit almost any size customer. We've got a dedicated small business team as well as a complex team that I'm part of. And, whatever those solutions might be, whether it be small, medium, or large, we've got something that will likely fit or at least help and be part of the solution.
So let's jump into the portfolio and some of the products that we're going to talk about. So first of all, can you give me just kind of an overview on the connectivity portion?
Yeah, our big focus with us and with most carriers today is a lot of Ethernet products. So Ethernet is really the foundation of our product set and really sets the building blocks for the network and the applications going from there. So with Ethernet, we offer your typical private type WAN connections, EPL, EVPL, ELAN, which is basically a multi-site, similar to MPLS, but any to any type of connectivity. So that's your private network space, builds a good foundation for voice over IP, video conferencing, Zoom calls like this, internally. And then building upon that with connectivity to the outside world, we have, our Ethernet-based internet access or EIA product. And that is basically, a symmetrical SLA type provided internet solution that gives speeds from, down from 5 meg all the way up to 10 gig and above if needed. So, with that foundation in place and a combination thereof, we layer on additional products from there, with regard to, getting to the cloud and having managed services in addition to that.
So you bring up a good point. Let's jump into that. Let's jump into the second part of this. Talk to me about what is my ability with Frontier to connect to a cloud environment? What does that look like?
Well, it's actually quite robust. We've got very good, Ethernet connectivity on the private side. So our network spans, coast to coast, and we also have third-party partnerships with other carriers to be able to get out of footprint or in footprint or across the globe, really. And with the cloud, we've got a partnership that we roll out with and through Equinix facilities to get to all the major cloud providers such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and others. And so we provide a private on-ramp through our EVPL and EPL product set, as well as our ELAN, to be able to build on that private network and take a company directly to the cloud with a private connection to minimize the need for that internet traffic delay, or essentially give them an expressway to a cloud provider. So it builds upon that Ethernet platform that we just spoke of.
Got it. So if I'm a Frontier customer and I've got service anywhere in the country, they're regardless of what hyperscaler I want to get to, you guys have a configuration, you have a way to connect to any of those. So that's
Yes,
always an
yes.
option. Okay.
Exactly. We can build that on ramp in multiple areas across the country. It's essentially a seamless add-on to whatever that network foundation might be, to be able to enable remote site connectivity back to the cloud either through a head end or multiple connections.
Perfect. Let's throw another product in there. Let's talk about managed services. That means a lot of different things to a lot of people. So can you break down what does that mean to Frontier? What do we have the ability to sell in that portfolio?
We have a kind of a layered approach going all the way from something like a managed SD-WAN platform, or essentially scaling all the way up to a managed cloud service where we'll actually come in and work with a customer to streamline their network and basically bring in our consulting practice that comes in and will help identify bottlenecks and issues and kind of help transform and take their systems from a local based model to a cloud model, or even further by taking that cloud model and transforming it further yet again. So it could be as simple as down to a managed, SD-WAN appliance level, which is essentially simplistic by comparison. But being able to take that and evolve that with a customer to hone in on what they really want from an SD-WAN solution, all the way up to, like I said, integrating that up to the network level and looking at their servers, their backend architecture, and all their applications, and then helping them streamline their business within that, within a cloud environment, and then managing that going forward, as well as being able to look at disaster recovery and disaster prevention, failover, failback, all of those pieces. We also include we have a wireless managed platform for campus type environments and large customers. So there's an aspect of being able to outsource wireless and then having all of those. A customer today could really have a layering of all those managed services together, along with our Ethernet foundation. So with all those different product options, we're able to provide the connectivity and then manage the different layers all the way from the bottom to the top.
So let's go a layer deeper there. So for the SD-WAN, I want to pick on that one specifically. So if I'm a Frontier customer and I'm looking for SD-WAN, what technology is that you guys traditionally leverage?
So we're basically partnered and basing our SD-WAN architecture on a Nokia platform. So it's a Frontier flavor. It's not a direct resale of Nokia products and services, but we're using their architecture to take advantage of some distinct feature sets that they offer, which creates some flexibility for Frontier to be able to kind of tweak and adjust to what our customers' needs are. So we're building a Frontier layer of services on that physical platform and then rolling that out to our customers based on what they need, all the way from something very simplistic to essentially just VPN type connectivity, to managing their applications, their bandwidth, finding out where their network utilization is, what's taking up bandwidth on their network, and prioritizing that. And so our team will work with a customer to kind of tighten up their deployment and work through any issues that they might have, and try to really get to what the customer is trying to do as a long-term goal with their platform.
And I mean, obviously, partners know there's a lot of SD-WAN options out there, and I think it's tricky sometimes to differentiate one from the other. What would you say with the Nokia platform that you guys have seen as you've deployed these? Where do you find that really stands out, right? What are one or two things that you really liked that you've seen with that?
Well, I think with our platform, as with any, it's evolving and the competition is tough. And so with us, a lot of it is that underlying architecture and foundation, and being able to pick and choose the different feature sets, and having our teams really work with the customer to try to determine what it is that they want, and having some granular scalability, and being able to just take it from something simple and then phase it in and become more elaborate over time. So we don't force our customers into having to, take every option initially. They can start out very simple and kind of grow it from there and have a phased in approach. And so this platform really helps us do that because we can get it out there quickly, make it work with our product as well as a third party connectivity, do some load balancing is with most SD-WAN packages will do all that, but really being able to start simple and then evolve from there into something more complex.
And you brought up a good point. One last thing. You mentioned we can then do that SD-WAN with third-party connectivity. So in a situation like that, do we have to sell any Frontier connectivity to be able to do your SD-WAN platform, or can it be done a la carte?
It could be done a la carte. Yeah, we obviously would like to sell a circuit at least with it, whether we be the backup or the primary. But we do offer a full out of footprint type of scenario where we can connect up third party solutions that the customer might already have, and they just want us to be able to bring that in, help them roll it out, and manage it.
Love it. Awesome. So how do you and the solution engineering team, how do you guys really help a partner know what's right? There's a lot of options, right? Obviously, you have some. They're looking at all these different ones. How do you help them figure out what's right?
There is a lot of options, and that's really part of it. Is a lot of our customers and partners may not even know what they don't know, so they might not know what to ask. And I can speak from my customer experience in dealing with communications providers like myself during my IT leadership days, which is I look towards my partners or carriers to help me determine what I wanted to do, because as a carrier or Frontier, we're providing solutions to all kinds of customers. So we're able to see all kinds of different deployments, different networks, which really opens up our ability to bring different solutions to the table. So with that, we're able to work with our partners to leverage some of that knowledge and experience to say, look, we've done this with other customers. Here's what another one is doing. Maybe this makes sense. Maybe that makes sense. So we walk through all the different options. I've got a strong background in different industries as well, hands-on as a customer. So I have a little bit of an advantage there from a solutions engineer perspective, where I've actually done some of these things, for 18 plus years. So I bring all that to the table along with my coworkers, which essentially, our goal is to help the customer and help the partner understand the different products. So we set up calls, meetings, whatever it is, diagrams, a lot of hands-on, detailed drill downs into what is it the customer needs, and how can we help them get there, and how can we make sure that that's an affordable expense essentially. What is the most cost-effective way? Can we mix and match products? So it's our job to really help that partner. We don't expect the partners or the customers to know everything Frontier offers. So we bring that to the table where we'll review those. We'll help educate. We want to essentially be an extension of their team and work through their problem with them and be able to take them to that level of where they want to go and beyond as well.
Beautiful. Let's break down a deal. So can you give me, and if you can share the customer name, great. If you can't, that's okay too. But talk to me about a situation where you got brought in, and we want to start with, why did you get brought in? What were you told? And then when you got into that environment, what was the technology that was there, and what was the problem that was there? And then what did what Frontier solution solved that problem, and kind of what does that look like after? And if you know the associated MRR, the partner always love to hear that too.
Yeah, it's there's so many deals I work on, with our team. We're kind of fluid and moving all over the place. So there's a lot of different deals, and a lot of them, from my perspective, they can be, I can be brought in for something very simple as just a couple of Q&A on a product, and it can really evolve from there as we learn more. I mean, the basis of my interaction and engagement is really to understand, what is the initial problem, but it sometimes requires us to back up. So in a lot of cases, whether it be one specific deal or not, brought in to look at some basic connectivity, and then we grow from there. Like I said, we're really trying to understand what the customer is trying to solve. So we typically start out with some connectivity of some sort, or I've got this issue where I need more bandwidth. And we peel that back and kind of look at, all right, what is it the customer's trying to do? Why is there a bandwidth issue? We might grow that from there. And it could turn into, take something from a simple point-to-point to a data center to being a full-fledged, multi-site, multi-endpoint connectivity solution with a cloud component or an SD-WAN component or a little bit of both. So it really depends. There's just a lot of moving pieces, and we see a lot of different deals. So one specifically comes to mind, which was with a customer, was to be able to replace a dated technology that they were using to connect remote endpoints. And it was essentially like a radio type based solution. So with that, we kind of compared taking it from, a low bandwidth, high cost solution that was legacy and moving them over to an ELAN type product. And essentially that provided them with the ability to not only get more bandwidth for the money and trim out some of their costs, but also to provide some resilience in there. Because of that any to any type of network with the ELAN setup, they could essentially multi-home endpoints to different data center connectivity points of their own network. So it built in some failover versus like a traditional point-to-point network they had before. From a pricing perspective, it all ranges, it differentiates. You go from something legacy that might be MPLS with a very high cost on a long-term contract to like an ELAN, and it may be 25% cheaper, but it may allow the customer to grow their bandwidth and then have a net zero impact there. But it also allows them to grow, and that's where we see the MRR go up, right? So we can take that and layer that foundation. Say, all right, we can get this great network here, and then let's look at how are you managing that? What other applications do you have? Do you need to get to the cloud? And so that's where we start building on that MRR with customers, where we really open their eyes on starting something simple, but it may grow into something a little more. And when we want to have that relationship to keep that growing, be an extension of their team and work with them as their business evolves.
Cool, good stuff. Last but not least, let's look to the future. So, today partners are going to watch this and learn things that they may not have known about Frontier, but we also want them to be thinking about, okay, as they go out and they put deals in the pipeline that may not come to fruition for 6+ months, 9+ months. What can you tell us about what's coming from Frontier? Are there integrations, product enhancements, feature sets, new things? What are you able to share that you'd want to make partners aware of? To, hey, look for these things in the future.
So, with any any communication provider, there's always a focus on bandwidth, and applications today are always bandwidth intensive, and we see that growing. But that's really, that's with any business, right? Our biggest focus, I would say, especially from our channel team and being dedicated to the partners and where we're trying to go, is really to try to make it easier to do business with Frontier. We want to streamline things so that our partners can have an easy way to deploy our services or actually engage us and work with us. We want to streamline that process. We want to be able to make that partnership grow and really ease the pain of any of the traditional methods, that we've got ingrained in how we've been doing business. So our focus is make it easier to do business with us. And then also we're looking at bundling services. So being able to, if you've got 20, 30 different services, be able to package up things that make sense so that the decision-making process isn't so intensive for our partners and our customers. Be able to come to the table with a managed package, for example. It might be, here's base connectivity, or here's internet with a bolt-on, SD-WAN already bundled in and included, and here's the feature set. So it just really simplifies it. So the focus for us really at this point, and our team that I'm part of, is really to try to just simplify things, make it easier, make it faster, to really get to the point of us serving the customer, to be able to turn that around quicker and better, and have it be all about the experience, make it more positive.
Okay, well, that brings us to the end, my friend. So Chris, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thanks for having us.
Hey, everybody, that wraps up another series today with Frontier. Chris Ferski from the Solution Engineering side, part of Season 2, Engineering Deep Dive. Until next time, thanks, everybody.